It's official, guys. It is official. Unfortunately, it is official. You all know how I feel about it. I just got done watching the WWE Crown Jewel press conference from the T-Mobile Arena that took place right before Smackdown Live. T-Mobile Arena is going to be the home of the Smackdown Live portion of the draft. Paul Levesque, Triple H, Papa H, overseeing the entire press conference with Michael Cole, and obviously guest appearances by Tyson Fury, Braun Strowman, Cain Velasquez, and Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. It is now official for Crown Jewel. We got two matches that were rumored before all this took place, and now they are confirmed. Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez. We do not know if the WWE Championship is on the line. If I'm a betting man, I would say no, because there's no reason for it to be on the line. There is no logic behind it being on the line. And Cain Velasquez doesn't deserve a WWE Championship title match, no matter where this event is taking place. And Braun Strowman versus Tyson Fury is announced. And I still don't know how this match is going to go about. I don't know how they're going to produce this thing. I don't know what they're doing or what they plan to do. All I know is, I know Tyson Fury has not learned how to wrestle in 3 weeks. I don't know what they're going to do. I have nightmares of this being worse than The Undertaker versus Bill Goldberg at the last Saudi show. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't get it for two reasons. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because I got news and notes on what Meltzer said about all this bullshit. But I don't get it. There's two things that are running through my mind. A, why are you doing this between Strowman and Fury when they are projected on TV and when they are standing together and when they're trying to sell this thing as a legitimate fight? I sense that there is no tension at all between the two. And it goes back to what I said. It's WWE desperately thirsty for any type of mainstream attention because they can't do it on pro wrestling alone. They forgot how to do it when it comes to pro wrestling. So they have to seek outside sources in the UFC. They have to seek outside sources in boxing. That's why they got Velasquez and Tyson Fury. Cain Velasquez is a more complicated situation. They're doing it because of that same reason, but they're also doing it to keep him away from AEW. And if you don't think that's the case, you're a fool. And B, as far as this Tyson Fury thing goes, I don't know what the outcome is going to be. Braun Strowman's going to get buried one way or another. Has Tyson Fury learned how to punch? Is he actually going to wrestle Braun Strowman? Or is this going to be one of those things where they go in there, and I hope it is. Otherwise, it's going to be a complete disaster. He goes in there, and he knocks Braun Strowman right the fuck out. That's what I need to see happen. Because if they don't do it, it's going to mirror what we seen on Monday Night Raw. Did you see Tyson Fury shadow box or shadow punch Braun Strowman? Now, Strowman looks like the type of guy that's going to take one right on the jaw. So I don't know why WWE would throw these two guys in there realistically with the pro wrestling aspect behind it. Braun Strowman seems like a big enough and a tough enough guy to get in there with Tyson Fury and actually legitimately fight. You can produce the outcome, but let those guys do whatever they got to do in there so that they don't embarrass themselves. And I talked about Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar. I think that's going to be the better of the two matches, but I'm more worried about Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's not going to win this thing. They're not going to have Tyson Fury come on in here and lose in his one and only ever appearance for WWE, and I'm worried about how they're going to produce the whole thing. All I know is, at the end of the day, and I know I'm not the only one who feels this way because I've said this time and time and time again over the last week and a half since all this stuff has been rumored. WWE is thirsty. They are desperate for any type of mainstream attention. That right now they are alienating the rest of their fan base who doesn't give a shit about any of this. I am being so honest with you guys when I tell you I do not give a shit about what they're doing here at Crown Jewel. In fact, I'm happy that they're doing it at Crown Jewel because Crown Jewel and the Saudi shows are the grounds for garbage. I'm glad that this isn't happening at a Royal Rumble or a SummerSlam or, God forbid, a WrestleMania that hasn't even been good in several years. I'm glad it's not being done at WrestleMania, because then WrestleMania, an actual WWE show that is wrestling related, because this is not wrestling related. WWE has WrestleMania every year, and it's the biggest show of the year. I'm glad that they're putting this garbage outside the United States. I'm glad they're moving this away from the real WrestleMania and not this second-rate, fucking low-budget WrestleMania. This is the stage for garbage. This is exactly where these matches belong. I'm glad they're not doing it at WrestleMania, because I would rather see actual WWE superstars get the one over for themselves at WrestleMania. I'd like to see Brock Lesnar put over a Matt Riddle, or I'd like to see a Brock Lesnar put over an Aleister Black, or a Bray Wyatt, or anybody on the active roster that could get in the ring and go toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar. I'm glad it's not happening at WrestleMania. Save that for the actual WWE roster, not this bullshit. None of the rosters should be upset that they're not going to be on this show. Yeah, it's a big payday, but man, you got to have some goddamn morals at the end of the day. Fuck the money. Fuck it. What are they doing to you? They're suppressing you even more by bringing in people that have 10 times the amount of star power than anybody on the WWE roster. They're alienating their audience, whatever is left of their audience. You're alienating your audience by bringing in this bullshit. And now there's more viable options, more than ever before, for wrestling fans who are disenfranchised with this bullshit to go out there and find something that is going to catch their interest. And they're going to cling to that other promotion. They're going to catch a bigger interest in that other promotion, because that other promotion or promotions are giving you and giving the fans exactly what we all came for: professional wrestling. Why don't you get good at your craft instead of dipping your toes in another fucking pool? Ridiculous. That's all I'm going to say on that. This press conference was complete garbage. Absolutely garbage. Did you see the interactions between Braun Strowman and Tyson Fury? Slapping each other on the shoulders, then they shook hands, then they were face-to-face squaring up. What is the tension? What is the issue between these two? I see nothing. Am I supposed to be excited about it? Well, Braun Strowman threw Dolph Ziggler into the barricade when Tyson Fury was standing up, giving Braun Strowman a round of applause, front row, on SmackDown Live. Am I supposed to believe that's going to lead to a fucking fight? Why would that lead to a fight? I'm sorry, Tyson Fury, you stood up at the wrong time. Next! Sit down! Sit down. Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar, there's a legit story there, so I'm a little bit interested in seeing what is going to happen between these two. I'm interested because the story is there, the history is there. Brock Lesnar at the press conference mentioned the scar that he's got to wake up to and look at every single morning that Velasquez gave him 10 years ago. So I'm interested in that based on the story that is already there between the history of Lesnar and Velasquez. I'm definitely interested to see how Velasquez does in the ring with a really banged up knee. I don't know what they're going to do as far as the knee goes. I don't know what they're going to be able to do as far as Velasquez, or how to produce a match with him in that condition. Maybe they stay ground and pound. Maybe they stay on the ground. Maybe we don't see Velasquez doing springboard crossbodies off the middle rope like we've seen in AAA. I don't know what they're going to be doing. I really don't know what they're going to be doing. But the history of that match easily trumps whatever Strowman and Tyson Fury do. That match is absolutely a desperate cry for attention. So is Lesnar and Velasquez, but not as much. And Velasquez, WWE doesn't even have him signed. Nobody knows what he's doing after this. This is probably a one-time deal. I doubt there's a rematch. I don't give a shit if there is a rematch. And WWE quickly got this done so that they could get first dibs on Velasquez before he goes and does anything else in the pro wrestling world. That man said that he is focusing 100% on pro wrestling, whether he's got to get the knee surgery or not. Before or after, he's concentrating on pro wrestling. WWE wanted to get first dibs on Cain Velasquez. They're going to try and keep Cain Velasquez, and they're going to try and keep him away from AEW, and that's the reason why they scooped him up right now without a contract for Smackdown and without a contract, or a long-term contract, I should say, for WWE going on into Crown Jewel. I'm not interested. I don't know how anybody could be interested. I know why they're doing it. I know that WWE is a business. I know who they're trying to cater to. I know who they're trying to grab the attention of. but I'm a pro wrestling guy. I know all this. I know all of this, and I am not a fucking feeble-minded idiot when it comes to this shit. And I am pro wrestling through and through. I know these two guys. I've watched both guys work outside of WWE. I've watched both guys work in their world, and I'm still not interested. How many of you who feel the same way, who are under the same mentality as me, that love pro wrestling, that want to see pro wrestling, that live and die by pro wrestling, how many of you are interested in seeing this shit? How many of you agree that it's nothing more than a desperate cry for mainstream attention because WWE can't get it done on their own because they failed and continue to fail every single time in developing new stars, making things seem important, and really just coming out there and being cool? They can't do it. So they have to seek outside help. And that outside help is not anybody from their main roster. That's the sad thing. That really is the worst fucking thing. I feel bad for the roster who's got to be suppressed because WWE doesn't have faith or doesn't trust them to put them in this kind of position or book them or creatively write and produce them to be in these big match situations. It sucks. It really does suck. So, Crown Jewel, the ground zone for disaster, and I can't wait to see what happens on October 31st. I'm not watching out of interest. Maybe so for Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar, just a little bit, like I said, but I'm watching more so with my sunglasses on, and I'm going to be sipping a cold beverage, and I'm going to watch the disaster come down upon them in Jeddah. I can't wait. So that was the press conference. Everything was overly scripted. I didn't really take interest in anything that they did. Everything was over-scripted. Everything was overproduced. Tyson Fury sounded okay. Braun Strowman sounded scripted. Cain Velasquez forgot what he wanted to say. He looked uncomfortable as hell up there. And Brock Lesnar, he doesn't give a shit about where he is or what he's doing. Just show him the money and he'll be there. But October 31st, guys, it's confirmed. Tyson Fury versus Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez. Right now, not for the WWE Championship. That remains to be seen. But I do have something for you, and this is this podcast. Off the Script, episode 295. This is part number 2 for your Sunday morning. This is October 13th, 2019. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. If you missed part 1 on Saturday, make sure you guys go and check all of that out. An unbelievable rant. And the plans are finally revealed for what Vince McMahon wanted to do. How he wanted to end Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt. And when you hear it, and if you heard it already, go back and listen to it. If you knew what it was going in, and then you heard my rant and you agreed with me, I know for a fact that you guys are even more angry after you listened to me and read the reports than you were on Sunday night when that show went off the air. I don't understand it. I really don't. Company, you know, it's amazing how we just sit here and blast WWE every chance we get for the fucking stupid decisions that they make, and they somehow get worse. They never go out there and rectify anything. They never make anything better. They just somehow get worse. And I don't understand it. I am recording this right before the WWE draft on Smackdown Live. I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know who's drafted. I don't know what is to come. All I can hope, and WWE is not giving me or you any faith in the WWE draft. The last 3 times they failed with the draft. The wildcard rule was a fucking failure. I can only hope that for the next 5 years, while they're under the thumb of Fox Sports, that this thing remains true and exclusive. I don't know what's to come. So, we have all that to look forward to. But, again, if you missed Off the Script on Saturday, make sure you guys go and check all that stuff out. We also talk about Master P and him buying House of Glory. We talk about Sasha Banks and her injury and so much more. So, make sure you guys go and check all that stuff out. That is linked down in the description. Also, there is Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, NXT, and Off the Script Elite, which now is on Tuesday. Your only one-stop shop for AEW news and rumors during the week. Everything you guys need is down below, including that SmackDown draft coverage video, the SmackDown review from Friday night. Go and check all that stuff out if you did miss anything on the draft. Make sure you guys go and hit up Harry's, man. Harrys.com/script. Shout out to my boy Salrex for this beautiful new layout for Harry's and the advertisement for Harry's. Harry's has been a sponsor of the podcast for almost 3 years now. And I know you guys need a good shave. We all need a good shave. And you're never going to get anything better than Harry's. Harrys.com/script. Did you guys know humans have been shaving for thousands of years, and the secret to a great shave? It hasn't changed all that much, folks. The ancient Greeks didn't need flex balls or heated handles, and neither do you. That's why Harry's doesn't overcharge you to add gimmicky features to their razors. They focus on delivering what actually matters: sharp, durable blades at a fair price. I love the smooth glide of the blade. I love the low price of the product. I love the fact that when I shave with Harry's, not once have I ever cut myself using one of their blades. That's what I love about Harry's. Harry's is a return to the essential. Quality, durable blades at a fair price, guys. That price is just $2 per blade. They cut out the middleman, manufacturing blades in their German blade factory that's been honing precision blades for over a century, which means you get incredibly high-quality blades at factory direct prices. Harry's is super convenient. Blade refills are delivered directly to your door on your schedule, with or without a subscription. And there's no risk for trying them out. If you don't love your shave, let them know, and they will give you a full refund. JD, this sounds fantastic. What do I got to do? Harrys.com/script. You guys are going to get the following: a razor handle with a firm grip, 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel with aloe to keep your skin hydrated, and a travel blade cover to keep your razor dry and easy on the go. Guys, it's very simple. All I could tell you is Harrys.com/script. Start shaving better today with Harry's. Well, will you look at that, man? Will you look at that? Color me surprised. WWE acts quick. WWE, when they want something, they go out there and get it. You ask, and I shall receive. I just looked at the news feed. As soon as I finished that Harry's advertisement, I'm like, let me see what else is going on. Maybe there's something that broke after this press conference with Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar, Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman. Cain Velasquez is now contracted to the WWE with a new, massive, multi-year contract. Per ESPN, it was literally reported after the press conference was over. Cain Velasquez is now signed with the WWE, and now he is fully retired from the UFC and MMA. It is unsurprising that WWE signed Velasquez to a multi-year deal, especially considering both All Elite Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling and every other wrestling promotion were interested in his services. Now, Kane Status with the WWE, still unknown at this point. It's not clear whether he will be a full-time active member of the WWE roster or he's going to have a Brock Lesnar-like schedule, special appearances. One can only assume that he's not going to be a full-time active WWE roster member. I'm assuming that he's going to have the role of a Lesnar light or a mini Lesnar. I don't want to see Cain Velasquez in the ring every fucking week. I don't want to see Cain Velasquez in the ring like a Daniel Bryan or an AJ Styles 150 dates a year. I don't want to see that. Who wants to see that? You cannot possibly tell me that you're interested in that. Now, I don't want to write the guy off. But my God, this reeks of desperation. It reeks of desperation. Nobody knows his status. Nobody knows what he's going to be doing. And with the Lesnar match happening in October, one has to assume with all the reports going around with his knee that he's going to go get knee surgery. And knee surgery is very extensive. You're not going to come back overnight from a fucking knee injury. Cain Velasquez was plucked out of the free agent pool. He was taken off the free agent market. And WWE didn't give two shits about the condition of Cain Velasquez. They want, they're going to get, they're going to give, no matter the condition of this guy at all and his knee. And they took him off the free agent market because they want to secure him now so that they can give him the money, make him rest easy, and get AEW and every other wrestling promotion off of his mind. That's exactly why they did it. If you don't think that some of this has to do with an AEW effect on WWE's behalf, you are a fool. You are a fool. AEW is looking at Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez even admitted that he was talking to AEW about a possible go in their promotion. Same thing with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Again, I don't want to write him off, But man, what businessman is going to sign damaged goods at this point and be happy about it? We don't know the knee status. The knee could be okay. The knee could be one of those things where he could go get minor reconstructive surgery. He could be out a couple of months. The worst case scenario is that he'll be out 9 months. Knee injuries are no joke. But even then, why would you sign damaged goods right now? Unless WWE had a fucking tip on him really kind of pushing the fact that he wants to go look at AEW and interested in AEW, and they offered him all this money that no human being could possibly ever turn down, to come join the WWE. I don't know, man. They work quick. They really do work quick. Again, I don't know what type of match they're going to have. I really don't. I know going into a match with Brock Lesnar, you're not going to come out the same way. This is not MMA. This is UFC. I don't know what they're going to do or what they're going to produce. Someone's going to get hurt in the match. Someone's going to end up with a black eye. Someone's going to get bruised. Someone's going to get bloodied. It's going to be a physical fight. There's no way you can produce this match and not have it be a physical fight. They have to make this thing as realistic as possible in a WWE ring. I don't know what this means for Velasquez. I really don't. But I don't know who in their right mind would sign damaged goods. The WWE, the only reason why they signed damaged goods in Velasquez is to keep him away from the competition, AEW. He's 38 years old, 39 years old. He's up there. He's no spring chicken. He's no youthful guy. Nobody knows what he could do in the ring. Nobody. I've seen fucking clips of him in the ring. That's all I've seen of Velasquez. I don't know what the fuck he's going to bring to the table. But is this somebody that you want to see in the WWE? Again, WWE is bringing in talents to put on the main roster to suppress everybody else. They're not doing it intentionally. They're doing it because they don't have a fucking iota of a clue. So now everybody that's not getting an opportunity is now going to get one less opportunity because another match on the card is going to be filled by somebody who really is not a professional wrestler. Someone who is from the outside world and not the pro wrestling world. It's unbelievable, man. Again, I said it in the beginning. WWE, yes, I know what they're trying to do, but they're alienating the fucking people that legitimately care about this show and are invested in the people that you have on the main roster right now. I don't see how this translates to ratings. I don't. Because if it did, then the ratings would reflect that. They don't. They don't. WWE, man, it's so fucking blatant. The desperation is blatant. I would be very curious to know two things. The money that they offered him, that he is now forgetting about AEW, and the knee injury. How bad is the knee injury? And did WWE, with the amount of money that they're probably giving this guy, do they even know the extent of the knee injury? Unreal. I don't know why anybody would invest in damaged goods. The only reason why they're investing in damaged goods is because they don't want him to think about going anywhere else. You think AEW would have signed him? I think so. I think so. Well, I don't even know. I can't even say. Would AEW sign damaged goods like Cain Velasquez? They'd probably tell him, go get the knee surgery and then we'll talk. Go get the knee surgery. Show me what you can do. And then we'll give you what we think you deserve as far as pay. WWE's like, fuck that. Fuck that. You know what? Come on board. We'll give you all this money and fuck the knee injury as long as you're on our roster. That's all we give a shit about. That's how they work. People with logic would say, go get this shit done, come and show me what you're doing, show me the progress, and then we'll pay you. WWE's like, no, we'll pay you, and you could work injured, and then you'll go get the surgery, and then come back at full 100%. That's the difference between WWE. It sucks. It sucks. It really is just a shitty mentality for WWE. Jeff Hardy, getting back to the active roster. There's too much of this non-wrestling, non-WWE performer talk. Jeff Hardy was in some serious trouble as of late, man. I feel so sorry for this guy and what is going on with him. I don't want to sit here and even contemplate thinking about Jeff Hardy's demons, because the next thing that we'll be reading and the next thing we'll be talking about is the death of Jeff Hardy. I don't want to talk about that. I don't even want to think about that. And here we are, Jeff Hardy in the news again for being drunk and getting in a fight with his wife during his recent arrest. Jeff Hardy's recent driving while impaired arrest is only a very small part of the entire story. Unfortunately, the rest isn't all that much better. TMZ is reporting that when Hardy was pulled over, he had a bloody nose. He told officers it was from an earlier fight with his wife. Now, North Carolina police received a tip about a careless and reckless driver around 8:40 p.m. Eastern Time on October 3rd. When police located the vehicle, they found Jeff Hardy. Hardy's car was actually found by police while sitting in front of a liquor store. The car was empty, so police waited patiently. When Hardy came out, he was carrying a case of beer. Jeff Hardy got in his car, started to drive away, while police watched him closely. He was finally pulled over when it was observed that he was weaving badly on the road. During the stop, the officer noticed Hardy had what seemed to be dried blood on his nose and asked what had happened. The driver advised that him and his wife got into a fight. The police did not report any additional details about the incident of alleged domestic violence. They did ask him about the beer. That is when Hardy admitted at this time to being impaired behind the wheel after saying he took 2 shots of vodka earlier in the night. Hardy was uncooperative when asked to do a breathalyzer or a blood sample. It was reported that Jeff Hardy bombed his field sobriety test. The officer obtained a search warrant for a blood sample and EMS was called to draw blood. Hardy was then booked for driving while impaired and driving with a revoked license. Also, for the record, the police report lists Hardy at 6'1" and 175 pounds. I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say. I really don't. It's none of my business why he got into a fight with his wife. The real people I feel sorry for at this point. How many times can you fucking make the same mistake over and over and over again? Clearly, the guy has problems. You're not going to fucking force yourself into Alcoholics Anonymous. You're not going to force yourself into getting help. I don't think anybody's going to fucking force him to go seek help. This is going to result in one way and one way only, and Jeff Hardy's going to be dead at the end of this. That's what's going to happen. Because it's been every single time we talk about this, it's the same fucking situation. There's no resolution in him getting better. I don't even think he could bring himself to a point to check himself in to get help. It's going to result in one way. Dead. The real people I feel sorry for are his kids, and I feel bad for Matt Hardy. Because people were asking Matt Hardy, what's going on with Jeff? Matt Hardy stated on social media publicly that he's done everything he could for Jeff Hardy. He's talked to him. He's tried to knock some sense into him. The only thing that he could be concerned with right now is what he is doing and what he's doing for his family and what he's doing for his career. I feel bad for Matt Hardy because it's fucking pathetic that Jeff is so selfish. And it's sad on Matt Hardy's behalf that he's watching his brother fucking spiral down into a pit of fucking despair while he's waiting for Jeff to get back. And the only reason how Matt is going to get back on TV is if Jeff is with him. You think Matt Hardy wants to sit around and do nothing? And dwindle away while his contract is withering away? WWE put out a statement. Jeff Hardy's responsible for his own actions. Are you going to say the same thing when he's responsible for his own fucking death? Or worse yet, responsible for someone else's fucking casualty? Gotta do something, man. Gotta do something. Driving, listen, the guy was stupid enough to be driving with a revoked license. You gotta be a blithering idiot at that point. You got no license, your license is fucking gone, and you're getting behind the fucking wheel. Comes out of the liquor store, he's so oblivious that he doesn't see the fucking cops in the area or in the surrounding area. Gets in his fucking car, knowing that he's drunk, weaving down the road. What do you think he's thinking when the fucking sirens go off behind him? Oh, I fucked up. I'll get out of this. I'm Jeff Hardy. I'll be back on WWE TV in 2 months. WWE needs to set a fucking ground rule at this point. Not only for Jeff Hardy, but for everybody else that wants to follow suit. Same thing with the Usos. There's got to be grounds for termination. This is not once, it's not twice, it's not 3 times, it's 4 fucking times! 4 times! Why would you take a gamble every single time on him doing the same thing? Every single time it's getting worse! What's next? Don't drink, and drive. Simple. If you're going to drink, call a fucking Uber. Jeff Hardy had his phone on him, right? I'm sure he knows he's got a revoked license. Call an Uber. You want a 12-pack of beer so badly, go call an Uber and have him take you to the liquor store. No, you get behind the wheel. None of my business what happened with his wife and how the fight got started or what the fuck they were fighting over. I feel bad for his kids seeing their father in this condition. I feel bad for Matt. Does Jeff even give a shit about coming back to pro wrestling? I don't understand. If you gave a shit about coming back to pro wrestling, your mind should be on nothing but getting your body right, getting your rehabilitation finished, doing the best that you can, pushing yourself to new limits and making yourself a better person and coming back and joining your brother and giving us the fucking Hardy Boys. And it sucks because Jeff Hardy is one of the nicest guys that I've personally met in this business. The one time I met Jeff and Matt Hardy, they legitimately were fucking the nicest that you could possibly ever think of with their fans. And I feel so bad for what's going on right now. WWE's got to do something. If something like this happens, they have to put in a clause or make a new fucking a new law that if this happens X amount of times, that you're grounds for termination. You're grounds to be terminated. I don't know what's going on with Jeff. I don't know what they could do about him drinking and then getting behind the wheel. They got to do something. They really got to do something. What was that shit? Remember the scene? And I don't want to bring a comedy into this because nothing about this is funny. Remember the scene in The 40-Year-Old Virgin where he was at the club and he took home that young girl in the club and she got into the car and she had to breathe into that fucking breathalyzer machine. Yet she had him do it because he didn't drink anything but fucking Mai Tais. Oh, what was it? A Shirley Temples all night. And she was drunk out of her mind. He blew into it for her, and that started the car. Jeff Hardy's got to get one of those things. Jeff Hardy's got to get one of those things. You blow into it, it reads your blood alcohol level, the car doesn't fucking start unless you pass the breathalyzer test. And at that point, his license is revoked anyway, so he shouldn't even be in a vehicle to begin with. This is fucking terrible. I don't know when he's coming back. He was slated for November to come back. You know WWE wanted him back on television. Is Jeff Hardy intentionally trying to get fired? Does he even want to come back to the WWE? That's another fucking variable that no one's really talking about. Does he even want to come back to the company? Maybe he's trying to get himself terminated, but WWE's not going to terminate him over this. They're not letting anybody go. They could commit an act of murder and they're not going anywhere. WWE's not releasing anybody. Maybe he's trying to get himself fired. I don't know. All I know is this is a sad situation. Haven't heard anything since. He's got a court date, I believe, in November. I don't know. We can only hope for the best. The only one that could help Jeff Hardy is Jeff Hardy. If his own fucking blood has tried to talk to him and he has not listened, what do you think he thinks about his brother? Does he respect his brother at that point? I don't think so. Get yourself right. He's the only one that could get himself right. Nobody else is going to be able to help him. Matt, his wife, his kids, WWE. Nobody. WWE needs to do something. The more this happens, this is not the last time it's going to happen. They need to do something where, listen, we can't handle this shit anymore. He is making himself look bad, and he's making the company look bad. How long before WWE has this happen over and over and over again? 6, 7, 8 times. And then they're going to release a statement, oh, Jeff Hardy's responsible for his own actions. You're embarrassing the fucking company. I don't want someone like that working for me. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Tyson Fury. Not going to spend too much time on this at all because you guys know how I feel about this. Dave Meltzer says his match will be a struggle. Why is it going to be a struggle, Mr. Meltzer? Well, Meltzer says this, and I quote, "This match will be in Saudi, and that's a very low bar." It's exactly what I said in the beginning. It's exactly what I've been stating since this shit all went down. They're doing this over there because WWE doesn't give a shit about these shows. They're doing it on these shows because nobody gives a fuck about them. If WWE did this shit on WrestleMania, they know that it would bomb. And WWE would rather have this show bomb than WrestleMania bomb. That's my logic behind it. Look, the last time they were in Saudi Arabia, we had The Undertaker versus Goldberg. So it's like crappy matches in Saudi Arabia go hand in hand together. I mean, we always have them, so yeah, I guess it'll be a struggle. There are other reports that Tyson Fury has received very good feedback within the company. It has also said that he looks good and gets it, which is extremely important. According to a source in WWE, Tyson Fury received a lot of positive reviews internally for his appearance on Smackdown, and the feeling is that he looked good, he was super intense, and he gets what is going on and gets the mentality of pro wrestling. That's because he's charismatic. That's because he's out there and he's wild and unpredictable and he's charismatic and he's just free. Guys like that fit better in WWE than guys with absolutely no talking skills or no charisma. But I don't know how good Tyson Fury is going to be in a wrestling match with Braun Strowman. Now, if it was a boxing match, that's a different story. I'd like to see that. And if they actually build it as that, I'd be a little bit more interested. But you're bringing in a boxer who has absolutely negative points on the wrestling scale as far as skill, and you're putting him in the ring with somebody who could barely wrestle on his own. This is a recipe for disaster, folks. It is a recipe for disaster. And again, Tyson Fury, is he big enough to bring people to subscribe to the network and watch this garbage go down? And how many people? And the most important thing is, yeah, you're doing this to get new eyes, and you're doing it to get a real sports-like feel on the WWE product. Why don't you do that with your own talent? How many of these people are going to go out there and watch this for Tyson Fury and Cain Velasquez alone? And the real question is, how many of these people are going to remain watching WWE? This does not translate to viewership. It doesn't translate to ratings. It translates into desperation. That's all it does. And this is going to be a disaster. I am telling you right now, I would be floored if this is anywhere close to decent. I don't know what else to say. A struggle? Meltzer's being generous with that comment. Now, WWE Superstars on the roster, they're not optimistic about the latest celebrity matches. Meltzer feels it. I feel it. You guys feel it. The WWE roster also feels it. Fightful Select reports that WWE Superstars aren't too optimistic about these future encounters. That being said, Velasquez and Fury defeating both of their opponents in Saudi Arabia is something that we might see. The wrestlers that Fightful spoke to said they aren't optimistic about any pro wrestlers' chances in a match booked against incoming celebrities or athletes. WWE has a lot of money with Saudi Arabia and the deal, so they can bring in these big names for these big matches. It will be interesting to see how things are booked, because the WWE title right now is not on the line, and WWE could easily book Cain Velasquez to beat Brock Lesnar. Now, we reported yesterday that Brock Lesnar has a stranglehold on his creative decisions. He loses to who he wants to lose to. He wins when he wants to win, and he gives Vince McMahon the orders. And that's what he wants. That's the relationship that he and Vince McMahon have. Lesnar will work with whoever he wants, when he wants. Lesnar will lose and win whenever he wants, whenever he sees fit. I don't know. Is Brock Lesnar going to allow Cain Velasquez to come on in to his world, like he said at the press conference, and beat him again? Maybe he does. Maybe the WWE Championship is not on the line for a reason. Maybe Velasquez beats Brock Lesnar. And then maybe we get this fucking rematch at WrestleMania, which would be a mistake. It would be a mistake. Now, you got to factor Rey Mysterio into this thing, too. They're playing off Rey Mysterio and Dominic in this situation, that Velasquez is the godfather of Dominic. So what are you going to do? You're going to have his godfather, quote-unquote, go in the ring with Brock Lesnar and not get the job done? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do or think in that situation. Do you beat him? Or do you have Lesnar go over? Maybe Kane wins and we get a future match, a rematch for the WWE Championship, and that's when Brock gets his win back over Cain Velasquez. Now, I don't know what the situation could be with Dominic and Rey Mysterio. Again, that's also a factor, but I don't really understand why we have them there when it realistically could come down to Mysterio and Lesnar sometime later on in the year, which is something I would be more interested in seeing over Lesnar and Velasquez. This is a very tricky situation. It really is. If Lesnar wins, listen, if Lesnar wins, you could probably spin it off as he hurt the knee. Maybe maybe WWE knows of the knee. Maybe the knee's going to be a factor in this thing. Maybe he does injure the knee. Maybe Velasquez comes back when he's healthy and wants another rematch, saying that Brock beat him at only 50%. Let's do it again. I don't know. You got a couple of ways to go about this. We'll see what happens. I don't think Brock Lesnar should be losing after he just won the WWE Championship. I don't think he should be losing to anybody. Really. And to be honest with you, I want this to be a one and done. I do not want a rematch to come out of this. I would rather see Lesnar and Riddle on SmackDown Live. Riddle gets drafted to SmackDown Live. And then Riddle wins the Royal Rumble and wins the WWE Championship. You make a new star within the company. And he beats Lesnar at WrestleMania, and Matt Riddle is the new WWE Champion. That's what I would rather see. So, WWE Superstars are not optimistic about any of this whatsoever. Listen, the WWE Superstars shouldn't even worry about this. Really. It's going to end up being an embarrassment. WWE's only doing this for one reason and one reason only. And, listen, nobody wants to be on that show anyway. You all feel, I know you feel the same way about these Saudi shows, just the same way the fans feel about these shows. It's nothing. These shows are so unimportant. WWE is trying desperately to make them feel important, and they're not. They're not. I would rather have this happen, and you guys should be too. I would rather have this bullshit happen over there and not at WrestleMania. Because I know you guys would rather be on WrestleMania. Fuck the payday. Fuck the payday. That's where your morals come in. Let them do what they got to do. Let them take their fucking blood money. Leave it over there. You guys worry about building yourself towards WrestleMania and getting yourself in a more important show and in a more important program away from this garbage. Of course, they're not optimistic. WWE is never giving the sense of optimism to their audience. WWE is not also telling the Superstars about Crown Jewel. They're not telling the Superstars about their Crown Jewel status. Fightful also reports that WWE is not telling Superstars about whether they will be working the upcoming Saudi Crown Jewel event. They might need to let them know since there's 3 weeks left until Crown Jewel. There are several people that Fightful Select have spoken to who still are not sure if they're even supposed to make the trip over to Saudi Arabia in 3 weeks. At this point, we have a very good idea about a few superstars who will be working the Crown Jewel event, but we're not 100% positive about all of them yet. Typically, WWE brings a lighter roster to their Saudi shows every year, so they probably won't need as many superstars. Fightful also reports that WWE is bringing in some of their announcers into the Connecticut part of things at WWE headquarters once again for their kickoff show. This saves the company from flying so many people out. It is reported that Booker T is among those slated to appear on the Crown Jewel kickoff show in WWE's Stamford headquarters in Connecticut. It is still uncertain whether WWE will bring any female superstars along with them this time to see if they can get permission to hold a women's match. Now, I don't even think that's even a thought that they should have. If that is going to be a situation where they're going to bring women and try and lobby to get the women on this show, why don't you make that a top priority instead of putting it on a show that clearly involves Tyson Fury and Cain Velasquez against Brock Lesnar? It would easily be overshadowed, so I don't think WWE should even waste their time bringing in the women to try and lobby for a match on Crown Jewel. Shit like that didn't work, and given the turnaround, it's not going to happen like that again after you tried it earlier this year. It's not going to work. So you might as well just leave that on the table for another time when you go back to Saudi Arabia. But WWE not telling the superstars about Crown Jewel, man, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Some superstars throughout the year, they found out that they were on a show or they were found out that they were drafted via social media. Like matches were made for Raw or SmackDown on social media 2 hours before the show, and WWE even failed to let that talent know that they were going to be doing something on the show. Just mere hours before they went live on the USA Network. So I'm not surprised by this, but this is a big fucking deal. This is, please tell me I'm on the show so I don't have to worry about telling my family and getting plans ready and booking a flight and doing this and doing that and getting my shit ready and planning out a match. when I gotta fly 17 hours across the fucking globe? Please tell me. Someone please fill me in. I would greatly appreciate it so I could get myself ready instead of you being greedy fucks and inconsiderate motherfuckers. WWE not tell. Well, how could you not tell your own employees that, so-and-so, you're going to be on this show? WWE doesn't give a shit about their roster. This is the only thing that they're caring about. Oh, look, we got Tyson Fury. Oh, look, we got Cain Velasquez. Meanwhile, they got a whole fucking roster waiting to know if they're going to be on this show. Do you even know what's going to be on this show? Do we even care? Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair. 5-on-5. Who gives a shit? The only 5-on-5 I want to see is the Survivor Series, and you fucked that up for me. Why would you have this match on this show 3 weeks before Survivor Series? Yet I'm the one who complains. Unreal. Guys, we'll be back in a little bit. EDGE. Adam Copeland. EDGE could be coming back to the WWE. And if my hunch is my hunch, I think Adam Copeland is going to be back in the WWE. Whether he was drafted, we'll talk about that. I don't know. It's 5 o'clock here on Friday afternoon. I don't know what's going to happen at the draft. But I got some news that I was filled in on yesterday about EDGE being at the draft. We'll talk about EDGE and if he's coming back to WWE. And EDGE was in Pittsburgh doing WWE business with their head physician. What does this mean? We'll go over that. And WWE injuries. Ember Moon and Samoa Joe injured. I got the injury list for you also on this episode of Off the Script. Don't go anywhere, guys. I got to shout out my newest sponsor. I want you guys to go check out my newest sponsor, Honey. Join honey.com/offthescript. Have you guys ever bought something online and then found out you could have gotten it a lot cheaper for less? It's worse than going to Chipotle and being stuck behind the guy who's buying 26 burritos for everybody in the office. Not to mention, once that happens, you feel like you could have been overpaying every time you shop. Luckily, I have Honey, the free browser extension that saves you time and money when you shop online. Honey scans the internet for coupon codes and other discounts. Then, like magic, it automatically applies the one with the biggest savings to your cart at checkout. It knows about every coupon code, sale, or discount at over 20,000 sites like Amazon, Macy's, J.Crew, Domino's, Sephora, Target, and more. Just shop like normal and Honey finds you savings, and believe me, it feels amazing. I actually just shopped for socks because I wear sandals and flip-flops all summer. Now that it's getting cold and cooler, I need a nice pair of socks. So I bought socks on Amazon. When I go to Target, they're $5 more than when I found them on Amazon using Honey. Honey has found its 10 million users over $1 billion in savings. Listen, there's no real reason why you shouldn't use Honey. It's free to use and installs right on your computer, and it works in just 2 clicks. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/offthescript. Guys, save money. Use Honey. joinhoney.com/offthescript. Gonna wrap this up pretty quickly, man. I don't want to spend too much more time sitting here, being that it's already 5 o'clock and I want to get ready for Smackdown Live on this Friday, which you guys will be hearing this on Sunday. So thank you guys so very much. Let's talk about Ember Moon, man. Ember Moon is injured. Poor Ember Moon, one of my favorites on the roster. I know she's not everybody's cup of tea. She's not everybody's cup of coffee. There are people in the community that I know very well that do not like Ember Moon, that say Ember Moon is boring. She is lacking charisma. She is nothing special. So then why did you call her up to the main roster? WWE called her up to the main roster because they failed to produce any other women talent, so they plucked from NXT and used Ember Moon as just another body to fill another inactive slot on the main roster. And that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Ember Moon is now injured, and Ember Moon could be out for up to 1 year. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Ember Moon is currently out of action with an Achilles injury. At this point, there's no timetable for return, but it was only reported that she will be out of action for a decent length of time. Ember Moon has been plagued with injuries throughout her WWE career. This is just another unfortunate event for her, and it was not noted when she sustained this injury or whether she will indeed need surgery. Anything else, I will let you guys know and keep you informed right here on the podcast. She's made zero splash on the main roster. She made her debut on the main roster in April of 2018, and that woman has not been in anything of substance. She's not been in anything of importance since she was brought up to the main roster. And it's said that the only time WWE used Ember Moon in a title situation was at SummerSlam this year in Canada against Bayley, because they didn't want to give it to Scarlet Flair too soon, with Scarlet Flair really not working for it because she was out taking care of Andrade when he had some family emergencies. His mother and his aunt passed away right before SummerSlam, so Charlotte was spending time with him at home and not on the road, so they had nobody else to give the title match to. So they gave it to Ember Moon because they didn't have anybody else to turn to. They didn't. Ember Moon was not the choice. She was the only choice, and WWE was forced to give Ember Moon a Women's Championship match at SummerSlam. Do you know what that woman is probably thinking? I would love to just dive into her mind and see what that woman is thinking. She probably is having a miserable time on the main roster. She probably doesn't want to be there. She would love to be, I'm sure, love to be down at NXT. And can you imagine what it does to one's mentality to sit idle and sit around people who don't want to see you succeed, who only care about themselves, who don't even acknowledge the talent that you have, that don't care about the talent you have, that will overlook you for someone prettier or big-breasted or big-assed, right, or blonde. How do you think that woman feels being in and around this political garbage in WWE? She has sat idle for 2 years and has done absolutely nothing. And the only time they did anything with her was when WWE had their hand forced and they gave Ember Moon a title match with zero effort behind it. What do you think that does to her mind? You think all this time sitting idle and all this that she's seeing, how WWE has treated her badly, and she sees how WWE neglects her and doesn't treat her like the great wrestler that she is, how she could be a great centerpiece for that women's division? You think that woman is feeling confident? You think that woman is feeling happy about where she is right now? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It sucks. It really is terrible. And WWE needs to do better if and when Ember Moon does come back to the WWE. Because I don't know when this woman's contract's up. She is one of the many that I know. When her contract's up, I guarantee you she's going to be one of those people that's going to think heavy about what she wants to do next as far as where she goes and continues her career. I don't know anybody that wants to sit idle and waste these years when you could be in that ring, developing yourself and honing your craft and bettering yourself every single time you go in there. How has WWE made Ember Moon better? They haven't. They probably have sunken this woman into a deep state of depression, and now she's going to be out possibly for a year, according to The Observer. I feel terrible for her. Hopefully she gets back soon, and hopefully WWE, with this exclusivity that we're going to see on these shows with the draft, hopefully she gets drafted and is on a show where she could shine away from all the bullshit, and WWE realizes what they have in her. Someone who's also hurt is Samoa Joe. PW Insider reports that Samoa Joe broke his thumb while wrestling a few weeks ago. At this time, there's no timetable for his return. In asking around, it was told that Joe suffered a broken thumb while performing and is currently waiting to be cleared to return to action, says Mike Johnson of PW Insider. Hopefully Samoa Joe can get back sooner rather than later. I think even with a broken thumb, I honestly, if I'm Fox or NBC Universal, I'm still drafting Samoa Joe because I know what awaits when he comes back. He's one of the most legit guys in the company. Broken thumb or not, Joe should be drafted to a brand. Hopefully he comes back, and he's another guy. Maybe he'll land on Monday Night Raw because I see Samoa Joe being a Paul Heyman guy. I'd like to see him get a dominant run at something with somebody that legitimately knows how legit he is. Jerry the King Lawler. This is a funny one. Jerry the King Lawler says commentating is not fun. On his podcast, the Jerry Lawler Show, it's a new podcast. The Jerry Lawler Show, the King spoke about Vince McMahon's influence on the commentary team's work. He says this, and I quote, "If you really do screw up, say something wrong or whatever, there is somebody that's going to, boom, come right in your ear and say, you know what? Whoa, don't say that. Say it like this or do something like that." So all I know is that basically the first time I heard from Vince McMahon all night long was bang, all of a sudden, right at the end of the show. I could hear the mic cut out, in and out. All of a sudden, there was Vince, and he said, "You guys had an awesome show tonight. Everyone was awesome. Thank you very much." And then Lawler went on to discuss his co-host, or with his co-host, Sean Reedy, how he doesn't actually enjoy commentating. Lawler said this, "They have a hard time believing it, but I don't really. I'm not crazy about being a commentator. It's not, at least to me, not fun. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of preparation." Then his co-host goes on and says, is it a different pressure from being a main event wrestler? Lawler then goes on to say, "Oh yes, absolutely. The difference in that is I feel so confident when I'm in the ring as a wrestler that I don't know if that comes off from doing it for so long, almost 49 years or what. I just feel self-confident about knowing what to do, when to do it, and I never go into a match thinking, oh my God, I'm going to screw this up." So you heard it from the man himself. He says commentating's not fun. Yet there were reports that Vince McMahon hand-chose Jerry the King Lawler for this position when Paul Heyman didn't even want or desire Jerry Lawler in that position. Vince McMahon put him there, and then Vince McMahon told him that he could have the position as long as he wants it. So here's another situation. If you're not having fun doing it, and you bring the commentary team down every single week, I don't give a shit what Vince McMahon thinks. I give a shit about the outcry of the fucking fans and the opinions of the fans. Nobody likes the Monday Night Raw commentary team in its current state. Jerry Lawler's a weak link. So if he's not having fun, and Vince McMahon told him that he could have it as long as he wants it, why don't he go to Vince McMahon and say, "Vince, I don't want it anymore. I don't want it anymore. I think it should be a two-man commentary team. Dio is good enough with Vic Joseph on their own. You need to let him grow and mature. How can he when I am there anchoring both of them?" Does he enjoy it? Clearly not. He said it himself. So the next thing that he needs to do is say, "Vince, I don't want it anymore." Other than that, I'm sure Vince McMahon is thinking, well, he can have it as long as he wants, and Jerry the King Lawler is like, well, I'll just be here because I'm sure they're paying me extra and giving me extra incentives for doing this. Because this is not what I signed on for. Of course he doesn't like doing it. There is a lot of preparation that goes into being a commentator. You should see the preparation I take doing House of Glory commentary. It's not easy. It's not easy. You're always prone to messing up. Nobody is ever perfect sitting in that position. There's always a fumble of words. You're literally talking straight for 3 hours, calling exactly precise what you're seeing in the ring. You're gonna fuck up. I fuck up. And I hate it. God knows what a 70-year-old Jerry Lawler is thinking. His mind is not like Jerry Lawler of 30 years ago. So clearly, when he's doing it, he's got to be on top of his game. I don't think Jerry the King Lawler is going to be at the top of his game doing this. You got to get someone in there or remove him completely and not replace him. Leave these two guys to do their thing. Get him out of there and give Monday Night Raw a true feel. Just by Jerry Lawler's voice, it doesn't really feel like change on Monday night. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. If he doesn't like it, if he's not having fun, remove yourself from the situation. Nobody's telling you to do it. Remove yourself. If it's not being felt here, then it's not going to show itself on Monday. That's what I hope happens. Not fun? Goodbye. Go find something else to do. Tom Phillips is now the lead commentator for NXT UK. This is a good spot for him. Tom Phillips was brought in to do the NXT UK tapings as of late and took a seat on commentary. He stayed and appears. The new play-by-play team will be Nigel McGuinness and Tom Phillips. Now, there were reports that he will be producing in the company as well, which could still be the case. Michael Cole has a crucial backstage role and remains on the announcer's table. It's good to know that Tom Phillips wasn't off commentary for long because now he's back in NXT UK. Still, we're waiting on a position or word on what Byron Saxton is going to do now that he was removed from the Smackdown commentary team and what he's going to do in the WWE. Must be a fun time to be Tom Phillips, man. Must be great to be Tom Phillips' wife. Hey, honey, want to come out to the United Kingdom for a couple of days while I do some work for WWE? Sure. Why not? Why not? He could fly back to the States. He'd go make a trip out there once a month. He makes his wife happy. Face fucks her. Why not? Why not? And then he could fly back to the PC or down to Winter Park, Florida at the WWE headquarters down in Orlando, and he could do producing and he could hone other people's skills and maybe teach. It's a good deal for Mr. Tom Phillips. There you go. It's not SmackDown Live. It's the much more superior product. It's not SmackDown Live, but hey, at least they're not docking you pay, or at least they're not cutting you pay, right? And then the wife gets a nice monthly trip to the United Kingdom with you. There you go. Good to be Tom Phillips. He's the new man behind NXT UK. And you know what? Instead of putting somebody else in that position who's not really that experienced, Vic Joseph did a great job over there. Vic Joseph's going to do a great job on Monday Night Raw. I enjoy Vic Joseph. Nigel McGuinness is the best color man in WWE. Putting him with Tom Phillips, I think that actually enhances the product. Tom Phillips is not bad. And Tom Phillips actually might sound a little bit more better than he did on SmackDown Live. On SmackDown Live, he sounded like a fucking android. Sounded like a robot. He sounded very overproduced. Tom Phillips in NXT was loose and free and different. He still sounds the same. He still has some enthusiasm behind what he does and says. But more so, I think that's going to show in NXT because he's going to be less scripted and less produced. So it's going to be interesting to see what Tom Phillips does in NXT UK moving forward. I think that's a very good move for him. Speaking of NXT, WWE is looking to move NXT out of Full Sail University by 2020. This is no surprise. I've mentioned this time and time again. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but all I can say, all I will reiterate is WWE looked at every arena so far with AEW. And they're looking at it and they're like, well, here we are in front of 500 people every week, and AEW is doing 14,000, 10,000, 9,000. If you're flipping the channels and you're watching AEW and then you're watching NXT at the same time, you're going to say, this one looks big league and this one looks like it's a single A baseball team. Who are these guys? Why am I watching this show in front of 500 people and then I'm watching this show in front of 14,000 people? Clearly, these guys are a lot more of a bigger deal. So what do you think that means? That means WWE seen that, and then obviously mixed with the ratings decline, which is not good, because NXT's been on USA for 4 weeks now, and they've trended down heavily every single week, whether there's competition with AEW or competition from the sports game. It doesn't matter. They trended down. So what do you think, mixed with that, Vince is going to do? Goodbye, Full Sail. Goodbye, Full Sail. Dave Meltzer reports there's a lot of talk about NXT being on the road every Wednesday, and now WWE is looking at 5,000-seat buildings similar to AEW. The target seems to be January with the move because WWE has inquired about buildings of that size to shoot television on Wednesday nights. Even before the first week ratings came out, there was talk that Full Sail was only running shows weekly because they had no time to set things up and that a move to different arenas would take place in early 2020. As noted, once the ratings came out, with NXT having such a strong show on 10/4 and having spent 2 weeks building it, the location and the ratings decline was more to blame than anything else in the eyes of WWE. Meltzer also notes that NXT's rival show, AEW Dynamite, is a touring brand and is selling out far bigger arenas than NXT's Full Sail. While some in NXT would likely want to stay in Full Sail, as that's where everyone is based, it's become NXT's home for all intents and purposes, so you can certainly see why it could be considered a disadvantage by WWE officials when compared to Dynamite. And the appeal and the luster and the home feel of the WWE Superstars being there every single week, and the morale of everybody at Full Sail and the locker room that is NXT, goodbye, it goes right down, and everything with it, with the ratings, is going to go down. The mystique of NXT is gone. The question mark now looms over everybody's head. Is NXT going to be able to fill 5,000 to 6,000 seats every single week? And if they do, is it going to take away from their quarterly takeover specials? The reason why, TakeOver was great regardless. The reason why TakeOver was so regarded in the eyes of so many is because you watch the weekly shows, as great as they were in front of a Full Sail crowd, and then you watch the TakeOver shows, it's that much more enhanced. It's that much more special. That's one big aspect of it. The locker room morale. You're going to take them out of Full Sail University. They're a hop, skip, and a jump away from the PC. You know? They train. They live there. They hang out there. Now you're going to take them on the road all over the United States because you need to compete with AEW. Whose fault is this? Whose fault is this? AEW destroyed you in week 1 of the ratings. Then you want to pull AEW, you want to pull NXT out of Full Sail University to compete with AEW. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Did anybody ask for this in NXT? No, you put them there. You put them in this situation to begin with. You didn't realize this? You didn't realize this. This TV deal came about in the blink of an eye, and the only reason why you did it was because you want to risk NXT to kill AEW, and you don't give a shit how you do it. So goodbye, Full Sail. Full Sail is going to be gone by 2020. I mentioned this weeks ago. Nobody listened to me. How long do you think before Triple H is forced to pull NXT out of Full Sail University and take it on the road to look comparable to AEW? It's happening quicker than we imagined. And I don't think NXT is going to beat AEW any weeks in the ratings. At all. No matter what you do. No matter how many people you have there. It's not going to matter. AEW's already proved that. WWE's fucking everything up, man. I really don't believe it. Oh my God. If Vince's ego was fucking 75% less of what it is now, NXT might be saved. It's not going to be saved. It's going to be fucking killed off. The luster and appeal. Everybody's feeling indifferent about NXT already. It doesn't feel the same. You look at NXT back in fucking July or August. It doesn't feel the same. NXT now compared to then doesn't feel the same. And this is why Vince, even though Triple H says his influence is not going to be over NXT, or his fingerprints are usually on everything when it comes to WWE, but his fingerprints are not going to be on NXT because he knows and understands the NXT product and how it's different from the main roster. Really? Really? Because with this move, what are you doing? You're inching it closer and closer and closer to being a main roster product. What happens when AEW develops a 10-week winning streak, or a 20-week, or an 83-week winning streak? What are you going to do then? What are you going to do then? How long before we see fucking Daniel Bryan show up on NXT? Or Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins show up on NXT? To further fucking shit on the essence of NXT. This is your fault. I am waiting patiently for this to be killed. And then I'm going to go off. If I have not gone off already. Speaking of NXT, Scarlet Bordeaux signs with NXT. So NXT? Wait till Vince sees her. You think she's going to be on NXT? She'll be right on Monday Night Raw. Scarlet Bordeaux is headed towards NXT's brand Wednesday nights. Squared Circle Sirens reports that Scarlet Bordeaux has indeed signed an NXT contract. She's expected to make her debut very, very soon. Bordeaux has been at the Performance Center for the past few weeks and will be used as an in-ring performer. The current plan is for Scarlet Bordeaux to be an in-ring performer and also pair her up with a male superstar. It was not noted which male superstar will be working with the Smoke Show or if her gimmick will remain the same. WWE has also signed Shotzi Blackheart, I believe, from Evolve. Yet she kind of dumbed down those rumors, but I'm not surprised by that at all. Is she going to come out and say, oh yeah, I signed with NXT? She said, oh, this is news to me. Of course you're not going to say blatantly, yeah, I signed. Because why would you? You signed a contract, you got to keep it on the wraps until WWE announces you. But she was going on and playing dumb, and I'm not surprised that WWE signed her. She's very good. I've seen her wrestle a couple Evolve shows. And I'm not surprised that WWE scooped her up because she would fit perfect in the AEW women's division. So, another AEW effect being sprinkled on this fucking shit salad. That is the Wednesday Night Wars. Scarlet Bordeaux. I would rather her not be an in-ring performer. I would rather her be a fucking valet. That's what I want. A valet for Scarlet Bordeaux. And you know who I would pair her with? Damian Priest. That's who I would pair her with. I think that would be... You want Priest to get over? Because I could see Damian Priest being, we have him before in NXT named Baron Corbin. How well did that end up? Right? Damian Priest, I could see trending into that, he's alright role. He's great. He looks good. He's impressive. He's got a good entrance. But he's not there. He's not going to get over that hump. You pair him with Scarlet Bordeaux, he would get over the hump. That would make him a superstar act. That's what I would pair him with. Let's see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And if, in fact, I know for a fact if it does happen, you know where you heard it. There you go. Guys, let's talk about this Edge situation. Edge. Good old Edge. Man, I miss hearing Alter Bridge come out on the PA. Metalingus. Will we hear that beloved tune once again? Is Edge being cleared for a WWE in-ring return? The Fight Oracle Insider News Twitter account has broke several stories in the past and now is reporting that Edge has been medically cleared to make his in-ring return to WWE competition. Edge recently signed a WWE deal for a substantial amount of money, and he was brought in for the SummerSlam kickoff show to hit a spear on Elias. Edge recently left his podcast with Christian and talked about wanting to wrestle again. He also said that he's been feeling better and has been looking into stem cell therapy for his neck. Christian talked about Edge leaving the podcast and hinted that fans have not heard the last of him. No word on when he will return to the ring, but several names from the past have returned for big paydays in Saudi for WWE. It's quite possible that he could step in the ring at Crown Jewel later this month. Goldberg and Shawn Michaels received big paychecks for wrestling in Saudi Arabia, and someone like Edge could get paid somewhere in the range of what they got if he does indeed come out of retirement. Now, Edge kind of dumbed these rumors down, and someone asked him, are you getting ready and getting cleared to return? And he simply said, no, I am not, end quote. Then it was reported that Edge was on WWE Business in the same city as their head physician. The rumors surrounding Edge obviously picked up this week. Edge might like to deny things like I just mentioned, which we don't know what's going on, nor is it any of our business, but all signs are pointing towards him looking for medical clearance. PW Insider reports that Edge is currently in Pittsburgh, or at least was in Pittsburgh this week on WWE Business. Pittsburgh is the same city where Dr. Joseph Maroon is located, and Dr. Maroon is head of WWE's medical. This is very interesting if Edge does indeed get the green light. A lot of people have been talking about Edge possibly making a return to the ring. WWE was reportedly worried that if he does return to in-ring competition and does get cleared, that he could be headed towards AEW. They are worried that he's going to AEW, and Dave Meltzer discussed that Edge could be headed towards AEW, and he said this. He said that the rated R superstar is absolutely trying to get cleared. It was also said that although it's not been confirmed that Edge has spoken to AEW, WWE believes that to be the case. He says, and I quote, I heard he's trying to get cleared. I have not had it confirmed to me yet that he's cleared, but I do know that he told whatever it was. I don't know what he said or if he negotiated with AEW. I know that WWE believes he negotiated with AEW. I think he probably did, but I don't know that, like I said. End quote. This is a very interesting situation, folks. Now, I'm recording this. It is 5:39 p.m. on Friday afternoon, 2.5 hours before Smackdown Live. I got tipped off yesterday with a possible in and a possible rumor. Now, this could very well be the case. I have not watched SmackDown yet, obviously, but if you see Edge on SmackDown, then my source was correct. If not, then it was a complete bullshit story. But either way, if it's bullshit or not, I still think that Edge is coming back. I was told that Edge is going to be at SmackDown. Edge is going to be drafted to SmackDown, and Edge is going to get a Daniel Bryan / AJ Styles-like contract with a certain amount of dates in which he would be able to wrestle. Now, looking back at what happened here with Edge, he looks way too good to be a podcaster and a stay-home daddy. Yes, he does the Viking thing, and he does TV appearances, and he might be in a TV show, sitcom, or a movie here and there. You could look good, but you shouldn't be anywhere near what I recently seen him look like. He looks like he's ready for fucking the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania. I don't know what he's looking so good for. It's great to be in shape, but my God, what the fuck are you coming back for? You coming back to fucking cook your daughter eggs? Or you coming back to fucking set the wrestling world on fire? So Edge looks fantastic. He left the podcast. He cited the reason, well, my wife is doing NXT. Yeah, your wife's doing NXT once a week. Your wife shows up to work one day a week. You're using that as an excuse, whether it's legit or not, whatever the case may be. That's your life, that's your family. It's very hard for somebody on the outside looking in to take that as a credible excuse when your wife works one day a week and, oh, I need to be home with the kids. She works one day a week. She can fly home the next day. So, what is it? What is it? Then you hear that he's in Pittsburgh with Dr. Joseph Maroon. The last one that was in fucking Pittsburgh, I don't know if you know him, his name is Daniel Bryan. What happened to him? They fucking cleared him. Dr. Joseph Maroon cleared Daniel Bryan. And here we are talking about the same situation with Edge. I legitimately teared up. Tears rolling down my face when this fucking man retired. Now he's coming back. Now all of these years have passed, and now he's coming back. Do I think he's coming back to SmackDown Live? Well, if you've seen him on SmackDown Live, there I am stating it right here. Just consider me fucking Nostradamus. If he doesn't show up on SmackDown Live, I do think he's coming back. I do think he's going to be in a one-off match. I do think that he will be at a WrestleMania or a Saudi show. I don't know who he's going to be in the ring against. But is Edge a big enough name to come back into pro wrestling and set the world on fire and bring that lapsed fan back to watch the product again? I don't know. I remember when Edge was WWE champion, he was pulling in a fucking 5-6 rating. That's what I think. I think Edge is sorely missed that people would come out of their way to watch Edge. And Edge is a big deal. He really is a big deal. I don't think he's a fucking legit game changer. But if Edge comes back to the WWE, it's going to be a history-making moment. Now, this AEW deal, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't think that Edge would do that. I really don't. Being that his wife works for the WWE and his wife is ingrained in the NXT brand on commentary, I don't think that he would do that for reasons that are obvious. But if AEW grabs Edge, holy shit, has the game changed. WWE is not going to change the game with Edge coming back. Edge comes back and he's going to fit right in and he's going to be ordinary. He's going to be ordinary. He's not going to feel special. After a couple weeks, that luster will wear off. Now, he goes to AEW. That's like a CM Punk-like fucking game changer. I don't know what's going to happen here, man. It's crazy to even think about this. You know, a lot of these guys, and the same thing with Punk. WWE is shelling out money to everybody for these Saudi shows. They're making more money hand over fist to hand these fucking legends and these wrestlers to come out of retirement and fucking do this and do that. They're not stupid. These wrestlers are not stupid. Easy money. You work one day out of the year and you're making more than fucking 50% of the roster. So why wouldn't Edge want to come back? That is too enticing of an offer to say no to. Same thing with Punk. Why do you think Punk is now all of a sudden, trying out for WWE? Why do you think Punk is coming back to do the Fox thing? Because he knows that the company is ingrained and revolving around all this revenue right now. Clearly he wants a part of it. He's too good not to be a part of it. Same thing goes with Edge. Now, again, I don't know what's happening with the All Elite Wrestling rumor. I think Meltzer is just trying to play an agenda, I guess. I don't know. I don't see why he would talk to AEW. But WWE is not letting anybody walk and talk to AEW. Just look at Cain Velasquez. They're going to offer money until you say yes. So I don't think Edge is going to AEW. If he does, I'd be shocked. Edge coming back. We'll see what happens. Where he's going to land, if he's in the draft. If he comes back, I do think he's coming back. I do think that WWE is trying to get Edge cleared. And Edge, it's not going to stop with Edge. Sting is going to be the next one. I guarantee you, Sting is going to be the next one. I guarantee you in 2020, this is my prediction right now, that we're going to see Sting cleared for one more match in Saudi against The Undertaker. I guarantee that's happening. If this becomes a reality, Sting is happening in 2020. Guys, I'm getting out of here. Thank you so very much for all your support on Off the Script. Hope you enjoyed this weekend's podcast. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about all these top stories. Velasquez, Tyson Fury, NXT moving on a Full Sail, Edge. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Hopefully, I will see you all right back here on Monday. We got a ton of content going up as usual. And Monday is the start of a brand new work week. Thank you guys so very much. Hope to see you on the Monday Night Raw review. And until then, I am getting out of here. Again, hit that thumbs up. Check out all the other videos that you might have missed. Check out the sponsors, harrys.com/script, joinhoney.com/offthescript, and follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's both on Instagram and the Twitter, man. I'll see you guys right back here on Monday for Monday Night Raw. Am I expecting anything less than a bad show? Of course not. See you guys then.